Hi Boss Buddies, I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd put together a list of my favourite dating fragrances. Now when we're looking for a dating fragrance, what we're looking for is something not overpowering. We're not looking for something too strong. We want good longevity out of it, but we want something that's going to be quite alluring, quite attractive, something that's going to sort of really pull our partner in, whether it's on a first date, whether it's on a second date, or whether we're going out with our wife or our partner sort of years down the line. What we're looking for is we want something that they're going to lean into when they kiss you, and they're going to love what they smell. It's going to draw them in, and they're just going to keep wanting more and more and more. So I've put together a list of fragrances that really do that, a list of alluring, sort of very, very Moorish fragrances. So coming right up is my list of best dating fragrances. Now, line these out in no particular order. However, I have picked one that I do think deserves to be at the top. Now, obviously, when we're going on a date or something like, the best fragrance that we can wear is the one that we feel the most comfortable, or the sexiest one in. So we generally tend to go for like our favourite one. But for those of you who sort of really want to know what a dating fragrance is, I'm going to give you my list of what I would consider more to be a dating fragrance rather than like an everyday or something like that. Now, a lot of people would consider sort of Creed Aventus to be a sexy fragrance. For me, that's not a very good dating fragrance. It does pretty much the opposite of everything that you're looking for. What I mean by that, it is very overpowering. It's got a huge projection. So, I mean, somebody can smell you the second when you walk in a room wearing Aventus. That's not what you're looking for in a dating fragrance. Aventus is fine for sort of when you're out trying to meet somebody, because it has got that sort of wide radius of attraction for projection. But when it comes to dating fragrances, we're looking for something that's a bit more closer to the skin. So, like I said, in no particular order, the first one I'm actually going to pick up is Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio. Now, Initio is an incredible brand that make pure sexy fragrances. I'm sure if you've seen my other reviews of the Initio line, that's pretty much all they do. This company really wants us to have sex, and they got a good way of showing it. They produce some of the sexiest fragrances on the market. Now, Absolute Aphrodisiac is again incredible. They do have, they actually have a line of their fragrances called Magnetic Blend, which I haven't had a chance to try out yet. These ones are supposed to contain pheromones, which again make you more attractive to the opposite sex. But yeah, Absolute Aphrodisiac is just an absolute class one dating fragrance. I mean, all the ones I've picked are going to be quite similar in sort of the way that they are, but Absolute Aphrodisiac, it's got that sort of DNA of Initio, which is like kind of sort of underlying tobacco and sort of honey notes and things like that. But this one, absolutely incredible. It's not overpowering, like I say. It's got probably around 1 to 2 feet projection. But it's absolutely delicious. It's going to keep pulling that person in more and more and more. They're just going to keep wanting to smell more of it. So Absolute Aphrodisiac is definitely deserves to be on the list. Now, as I said, I'm not going along in any particular order. But the second one I've picked up is Oh Unknown by Imaginary Authors. This was a little less known company. You would have seen a lot of their reviews on my channel, though. I absolutely love this collection. All of the Imaginary Authors are just a wonderful collection. Now, when I reviewed Oh Unknown, or actually when I posted a picture of it being my scent of the day, Imaginary Authors actually reached out to me to let me know that this was their favourite one. Now, after a couple of hours of wearing this one, I could really start to see why. When I first sprayed this one on, it did have like a kind of sort of feminine sort of scent about it. It did feel sort of very floral and very, very sweet. However, when the dry down kicked in, it was incredibly sexy. I wouldn't say this was a gourmand. It's kind of like a sweet floral gourmand, which isn't something I'd normally go for, but this is a delicious fragrance, and it will keep pulling somebody in for more and more and more. My wife absolutely loved this one. I mean, she's loved all of these. But yeah, this one is just such a beautiful fragrance, Oh Unknown. Like I say, it's sweet, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. And it's definitely one that's sort of going to pull people back again and again. The projection on this one, again, is not huge. it's probably, I'd say you're looking 2.5 feet max, the projection on this one. But again, it's got the longevity, so you know you can wake up the next morning with no problems at all. So you're going to smell it all the way throughout the night and smell sweet the next morning. Now, going on to my next one. This is an incredibly sexy fragrance from a very, very amazing quality company. This one's by Kilian. This one's a beautiful, amazing chocolate gourmand, or I should say chocolate coffee gourmand. This is Black Phantom. Now, if you haven't smelled Black Phantom, this is an absolutely must-sniff fragrance from Kilian. This is perfect for fall weather as well, but this is an amazing dating fragrance. Now, when you breathe this one in, all you're going to smell is those chocolate notes. You're going to smell like those coffee notes. It's just a wonderful. It kind of reminds me of like a sweet coffee that's got some kind of alcohol in it. It's quite a sort of boozy smelling sort of chocolate fragrance, really. I mean, if you could imagine walking down a little side street in France, and you got the smell of like the bakeries, and then also the little coffee shops and stuff like that, with all these different sort of smells coming off, like pain au chocolat cooking, and you got the macchiatos and the cappuccinos, and that frothy milk smell, and all those sort of sweet smells blowing around. That's exactly what you're going to get with Black Phantom. Like I say, it's an absolutely intoxicating chocolate coffee gourmand, and this is one that should definitely be checked out as a perfect dating fragrance. Now, again, with this one, you've not got huge projection, so it's one that's delicious, so it's going to keep pulling that partner in. So this and the longevity, as always with Kilian, is always going to be there. Such an incredibly good quality fragrance line. So that one is Black Phantom by Kilian. Now, moving on to my next one. As I said before, these are in absolutely no numerical order, except for my number one. Now, the next one I've picked is Bozhnikov by Fulton Manley, which is this one right here. Fulton Manley make an incredible collection of fragrances. I find they have a certain DNA as well, where they all have a kind of underlying note of, I find it's like a dark chocolatey note. It's not a sweet chocolate. It's quite that. It's like a malt dark chocolate, I would say. But this one's the most chocolatey out of all of them. This one's a pure dark chocolate gourmand, and it's absolutely incredible, this one. I mean, one of the things about Fulton Manley I find is they don't have massive projection, which does make for a very, very sort of sexy fragrance. It's something that somebody's going to be able to smell when they're close to you. And that's why Bozhnikov is a perfect dating fragrance for me. It's an amazing gourmand, like I say, a dark chocolate gourmand, and it wears quite close. So the person who's closest to you is really going to appreciate that. They're going to want to eat your neck, which is how I felt when I actually wore this one. I just couldn't get enough of it. The problem I found, as I said, is because they're not got massive projection, I kept wanting to smell it, and I couldn't always smell it. I just had to sort of wait for little wafts of it throughout the day, which just kept drawing me in more and more and more. So that's Bozhnikov by Fulton Manley. Now, the next one I don't actually have a bottle of, but it is an incredibly sexy fragrance, and that's the Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, which is an incredibly sweet. It's kind of candy-like. It's not massive projection. It's probably the strongest out of all the ones that I've talked about. It does have an amazing smell about it, though. When I wear it, I do tend to pick up a couple of compliments that I'm sort of not looking for during the day. But yeah, because I tend to wear sort of more woody scents, so when I do wear something sweet, it does definitely get noticed. But yeah, Baccarat Rouge 540 is one that is incredibly sexy. I had actually filmed this one before, and then the day I'd actually filmed this, I actually went out and I wore Baccarat 540, and I finally had the chance to try it out, and I got to realise how incredible that scent was. So this is, yeah, like I say, this is an incredibly sexy scent. I've still got a number one to go to though, so definitely stick around for that. But Baccarat Rouge 540, if you're looking for like a sweet candy smell, but like that very, very high-end candy smell, something with amazing longevity, something with fantastic, just that little bit of projection, definitely check out This one, like I say, it's on the sweeter side of things, but there's something that women will really go for, and women really tend to respond to this one. Okay, so moving into my number one position. My number one is Initio's Rehab. This one is absolutely incredible. This is the only one that I've ever worn, the only fragrance I've ever worn where my wife's reaction has been, I want to eat you. To give you some idea, I hope it wasn't just the gin and tonic talking that evening. But this one is just a beautiful, like I said earlier, with the Initio range, they've got this beautiful sort of tobacco, sort of vanilla base. This one's got a bit of cinnamon thrown in there as well, and it just makes a nice sort of spicy, very sexy, very Moorish fragrance. This is the sexiest one that I've come across. Out of all the Initio line, if I was to have to choose sort of one to buy for the rest of my life, this would definitely be the one. This is just an incredible fragrance. The quality of this one as well, it's a little bit more expensive than the rest of the Initio line, but it's definitely worth paying the extra $20 for. I mean, a lot of the fragrances that I've talked about, none of them are below $100, and they're ranging up to sort of the $300, just over the $300 mark. But all definitely worth it for their quality and for the performance that you get from them. They're all definitely worth it. So my number one, as far as sexy dating fragrances go, is definitely going to be Initio Rehab. I hope you enjoyed my top dating fragrances. Please like, comment and subscribe below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I want to hear your favourite dating fragrances as well as any sort of other recommendations that you got for me as well. I'd always love to read something to sort of go and check out. I'm going to be in Miami next week, so please send me any recommendations of brands that you need to check out. One I'm desperate to check out is definitely Zerhoff. There's a few other brands as well as the rest of the, I need to check out the rest of the Maison Francis Kurkdjian line. I'm going to be checking out Rocha. Any others that you got, I'm going to be hitting up Osme Perfumery. I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale with Neiman Marcus, and I'm going to be around the Miami area. So anything that you know that's available around there, please send me, just drop me a message or something like that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. You can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss. I hope you enjoyed my dating fragrances. I hope to see you in my very next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.